Today we're making curry, my curry, and mashed potatoes. Let's get started.
Good things are coming. Good things.
Okie dokie, and before we get started, I want to remind everybody that cooking should be fun and relaxing, so grab your relaxing juice. Ooh, yeah. Let's get started. And if you're wondering where my manager is, she is on her union-required nap, so I'm going to use my ASMR voice and make these mashed potatoes, alright? I'm going to start with, I have 6 potatoes, but do what's right for you. Could do 4, could do 6, whatever, alright? I have some golden potatoes. They're going to be a little bit sweeter than russets. We're going to peel these off. Make sure you have a cold pot of water to put your potatoes in, okay? I'm going to peel them up, slice them up, get them on the stovetop, okay? I'm going to speed through all of it so you don't have to sit through the whole darn thing. Alright, now we're going to slice all these potatoes. Make sure when you cut them, they're all roughly the same size, so that way they all cook about the same speed. Now we have our pot of potatoes. You might be able to see this little bit of starch on the top of this water. So what we're going to do is we're going to drain all this water off and then fill up the pot one more time before we put it on the stovetop. That way our potatoes turn out a little bit fluffier. Alright, the potatoes are on the stovetop on high. Please start with cold water, that way your potatoes don't turn out too lumpy. We want to start those off first because by the time we're done preparing and cooking the curry, potatoes will just be finishing boiling, okay? They take like an hour and a half to cook all the way through. So let's switch gears over to making our curry. All right, we need our veggies. And using the powers of editing magic, okay, we have our veggies. So let's get started. We're gonna cut a basic mirepoix. For those of you who don't know, a mirepoix is celery, carrot, and onions, okay? So let's get started. Okay, I have our mirepoix here. I'm going to put it all in the pot along with a tablespoon of butter and olive oil. All right, we're building our umami as soon as possible. Okie dokie. So make sure you save about a quarter to a half a cup's worth of onion. There we go. For later, we're going to use that with our pork. All right, so this in a bowl. I apologize for the slow. There we go. All right, there we are. Now we get to cook on hard mode. I got one hand and one manager. All right, we are on to my favorite non-meat protein source. We got mushrooms, all right? We're gonna clean them, pop the stumps out, and dice them up. All right. Now again, I can't be fancy because I only have the one hand, so I'm just going to give it a quick dad chop. Okay. Now, I'm going to take all this and put it right in that pot. Okay, so our veggies are stirred up. Everything's covered in all the oil. It's heavily salted. We're trying to bring the moisture out while it's cooking. We're going to make a roux out of the veggie sweat later on, all right? But we're going to let this cook until the carrots start turning a little bit translucent or see-through, all right? And for those of you in the audience who are worried about me wasting my heat energy, don't worry. Dad's got energy to spare, all right? That's how I got a daughter. Talk to you guys later. Okie dokie, let's take a look at our veggies. Ooh, yeah, they're looking pretty good. They've been going about 5-6 minutes or so. All right, next we're going to add a little bit of garlic. We're gonna make some room here. We're gonna add about 2 teaspoons worth of crushed garlic. Okay, if you don't have crushed garlic, you can definitely dice up some garlic cloves. I'd say 2 will do it. I'm gonna hit this with just a little bit of olive oil. Oh my goodness. There you are. And we're gonna let this garlic toast a little bit, all right? Let it go for about, I'd say, 30 seconds. All right, you'll be able to smell it. And now we're just gonna mix it in with everything else. There we are. There we go. And now it's time for our flour. You need about equal parts flour to your oils. There's 1 tablespoon. There's about 2 tablespoons worth. We'll add a little bit more because of the oil that we added with the garlic. There we go. If you add a little bit too much, it's not a huge deal. Don't let it ruin your day. There we go. Just get as close as you can. We're gonna stir this in here, and then we're gonna start adding our liquids, all right? If you have a good chicken stock or a mushroom stock that you like, in this one you can even, I don't know if there's a pork stock out there, but if you have one, that'll work all right. There we are. But I like to just use water. Simple and easy. I'm just gonna add a little bit at a time, and we're gonna stir it up. There we go. There we go. I will speed through this process so you guys don't have to watch the entire thing. Okay, there we go. Starting to turn more into like a cream soup. There we go. Yep. Yep. If your roux starts looking really gummy and gloopy at the beginning, don't freak out. Just keep adding your liquid slowly but surely, and it will turn out just fine. There we go. Ultimately, I'm adding about 2.5 cups worth of liquid. I'm just using plain water. I'll add my bouillon as we go and as I need it. But for right now, I just want all the vegetable juices to mix and mingle and get to know each other, all right? So the next thing, I'm gonna put this lid on here. So the next thing, I need a can of crushed tomatoes. No. We're gonna dump the entire thing right in there. Okay. Oh, I might grab a little bit of water. This is definitely a Midwest or a poor family trick. Leave a comment down below if you ever rinsed out a can with water to use the entire can. Now, of course, if you don't have crushed tomatoes, you can definitely just dice up your own tomatoes, toss them in, they'll be fine. Now stir this in here. There we go. Make sure you get the edges because there's a bunch of flavoring in the edges of this pot. There we go. I'm going to set the lid on here. We're going to keep it on a medium-low heat. Let everything mix and mingle. And we're going to work on our meatballs. All right. So we have about a half a pound of ground pork, as well as about a quarter cup's worth of the diced onions before that we saved for this very moment. Okay. We need to season it a bit. Okay. We're going to hit it with some salt. Yep. Oh, man. A little bit of black pepper. Yep. We're going to do just a little bit of chili powder. Okay, just a tiny bit. It's not the star of the show, but it will definitely help everything. There we go. All right, if you want a measurement, I'd say that's about a quarter or a half a teaspoon's worth of chili powder. Next, we're going to go with garlic powder, and you can be pretty generous with that. Don't be shy. Well as some onion powder. All right, and last but not least, we're going to do some paprika. All right, and this guy is just about done. I have about a teaspoon's worth of paprika in there, so I'm just going to dump that whole thing in there. There we go. There we go. You don't want to get that in your eyes, kiddo. All righty. Now we're going to mix this up. All right. If you're worried about pork, use gloves. You can use a fork or something. I like to use my hands. They're God's mixing tools. All right. So here we go. Next, we need some kind of a flour. All right. So a lot of people use breadcrumbs or stale bread, croutons, those are cool. I just have some crackers. I have 3 Ritz crackers right here. And what this is going to do is A, it's going to help hold our meatballs together, but B, it's going to help hold some moisture in these meatballs along with the onion, so that way they don't dry out while they're boiling. Okay, so now we're going to just crack these up, and we're going to mix it all the way through. Now it's time to start forming our meatballs. Please excuse me. Now, how do we form these meatballs pretty? Okay, first you want to start off with cold, wet hands. There we go. For whatever reason, it helps to form the meatball properly, gives you nice round balls. Gentlemen, head out of the gutter, okay? There we go. All right, so our meatballs are formed up, ready to go. Now, of course, you can definitely do more pork if you would like to in your curry. I just had a half a pound on hand, so that's what I'm using. Alrighty. I'm going to put these in the pot, turn it to a medium high, and I'm going to let it boil for about a half an hour. Alright, so I'll see everybody then. Let's check on our soup. It's looking pretty darn good. Let's see here. Give her a taster. Okay. All the vegetable flavors are there. Pork is coming through nicely. But there we go. I have not added my chicken bouillon yet. Again, if you used a boxed stock or a stock that you like that's liquid while you're making your roux, you don't need to do this part. We're gonna add about, I'd say it's about a tablespoon's worth of chicken stock. There we go, maybe about another half a tablespoon. All right, let's give that a good stir. Yeah. And another taster. Okay, there you go. If I was just gonna make a minestrone soup, that would be it, all right? But we're not doing that. We're making curry. Now it's time to add our spices. Now, if you want a good curry powder, just that you can get on Amazon, I would say SMB, that's the Japanese curry powder. Or there's one from Australia, I think it's called Keen's. Both of those are really good. I actually did a video for a Japanese curry back in October, and I made my own curry powder. You can go look at that if you want to mix your own. I ran out of my curry powder recently, so I'm going to make some on the fly. Yep. I'm going to add in this curry powder that I got from the store. There we go. It's not quite as good, but here, let's see here. Yeah, you want to make sure that there's a good amount of coriander, turmeric, and fenugreek in there. All right, if those are not in there, and of course cumin, that goes into good curry powder. If those are not in our curry powder that you find in the store, I recommend not using that. Like for example, Sam's Club, they have a curry powder. It's just turmeric and cayenne pepper. Like there's none of the extra stuff in there. It's not good. Don't use that. All right, and I'm also going to throw in some garam masala. Okay, so I did about a half a tablespoon of curry powder. I'm going to throw in about, let's say it's about a teaspoon's worth of garam masala. Next, we're going to do about 1/8 of a teaspoon of cloves. And we're going to do the same with allspice. There we go. A lot of the good curry powders I see online have both cloves, allspice, cinnamon, and nutmeg in there, just in very small quantities, okay? Next, we're going to do about a quarter teaspoon's worth of nutmeg. There we go. Now we get to let a lot of this cook. Stir it in there. There we go. It smells delightful. There we go. Oh my goodness. Oh my gracious. Manager is rebelling. Hang on. Down wheel. Let's give her a taster. That is very good. Yummy, yummy. There we go. We're just missing a couple of things. I'm going to throw in about a tablespoon's worth of butter. It's a little bit on the spicy side. Like it's manageable for now, but all those spices are going to get stronger as this thing cooks down and gets a little bit thicker. And that fat will help to mellow and marry all of the spices so that they're very tolerable. They're very tolerable and pleasant to eat. Okay. And the last thing I'm going to throw in there, this is the very last thing, I'm going to throw in about, a couple dollops of milk, okay? It's about a quarter cup of milk. It'll make the color a little lighter, and don't freak out, okay? 'Cause all this is going to cook out and cook down as this whole thing's cooking, okay? And that's the last thing I'm doing to this curry, all right? We're going to leave the lid off. It's on a medium heat. I'm gonna let this get up to temperature and boil down, okay? Now let's turn our attention to our potatoes. All right, so we're about 90 minutes later. Our curry is on the stovetop. Our potatoes are looking pretty good. Let's give them a poke. You know when they're done because you can poke through any potato with basically no resistance. Poke in a couple spots. There you go, those are all done. We're gonna drain this pot and get to mashing. My heat is on. You're gonna want your milk in one hand and your masher in the other. There we go. Break all these potatoes up as best you can. And we're gonna pour in just a little bit of milk. There we go. That's about a quarter cup. We're gonna do about a 1/4 cup at a time until they start looking kind of nice and fluffy. Honestly, that might do it. Just 1/4 cup. Okay, and now we're gonna toss in about a tablespoon's worth of butter. Gonna mix that all up too. Swap out my utensils. There we go. Let that butter get all mixed and mingled with the potatoes. Now it's time to salt it. Don't be afraid to salt these a little bit heavily. Potatoes can use a lot of salt. And we're gonna hit it with some black pepper. There we go. A lot of people don't like the way the black pepper looks in mashed potatoes, but I absolutely love it. If you don't like the way that black pepper looks, you can use white pepper. All right, we're gonna give this a taster. It's good. It needs more butter and a bit more salt in my opinion. This part you have to do to taste. I don't have your taste buds. I can't taste things for you. You just kind of have to see what you like. Ooh, I love fluffy potatoes. Okay, give her one more taster. Ooh, that is perfect. That is perfect. Good, good, good. I'm gonna smooth it over, try to keep as much of this steam as I can. Pop my lid on here. Turn my heat completely off. And we are good until the curry is ready to be served. Let's take a look at our curry. It's nice and cooked down. Only took a few minutes. There we go. Now it's getting nice and thick. Oh my goodness. Don't forget to scrape down the sides of your pot. I said it earlier, but that's got a ton of flavor in it. All the umami is in the sides of this pan and on the very bottom. Make sure you scrape that up. Dig for it like you're gonna find buried treasure. There we go. Let's take hopefully one final taste. That is good. A little bit on the salty side. Okay, what's that? Manager needs her taste. Hang on. Probably should not have added that extra half a tablespoon of chicken bouillon, but it still tastes really good. And I'm gonna plate this sucker up and I'll see you guys over there on the counter. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. My American curry and mashed potatoes. Not too shabby. Yep, but it doesn't matter how it looks. It doesn't matter. All that matters is how it tastes. So let's give her a taster. Ooh. Yep. Okay. Manager's already asking for her cut. Let's give her a taster. Yummy. Oh, yeah. Delicious. You can taste the paprika in the meatballs. You can taste the curry. The potatoes are delightful. There you go. For those of you who are worried about potatoes going with curry, it's in Japanese curry. And Japanese curry is delicious. I think it's also in British curry. Never had it, but you know, there's at least 2 countries out there that put potatoes with curry. So don't worry about that. There we go. Let's see what the manager thinks. We have a seal of approval from the manager. Oh, she's reaching. All right, that's a winner. All right. Well, that'll do it for me today, everybody. Curry and mashed potatoes. I invented this like a month ago by accident, and it's awesome, okay? So give this a try. Let me know what you think. All right? Yep. Oh, she's cracking the whip now. Oh my goodness. If you want another curry video, I'm going to put the link to that here. I did one back in October. I also have my curry spice list in that video. I'll put it in the description of this video as well. As well as all the instructions on how to do this thing. The recipe is a little bit complicated. There we go. Please let me know, did I do a good job? Is your curry better than my curry? Let me know. Tell me how. Ooh, yummy, yummy, yummy. Tell me how I screwed up. Tell me where I can improve. I want to hear from you guys, okay? Let me know if I used my heat energy correctly, okay? I mean, clearly your mom already understands I can use my heat energy perfectly well. Gotcha. Anyhoozle, please give me a like and a subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so I can monetize this channel. If you want to buy some merch, please go to my merch store and buy yourself a t-shirt or something. Please follow me on Instagram and X. Send me your recipes. I want to see all the things you guys can do in the audience, okay? You could even hashtag your Instagram stuff. Yeah, hashtag your stuff. Hashtag Dad's Cooking so I can find it pretty easily. There you go. And then I'll look at it and I'll be happy. I'll be proud of you. All right. If you want other stews or soups I have some jambalayas and all sorts of stuff. I'll just put a big stew playlist at the end of this video, okay? That's all I got for today, everybody. Yeah, we're gonna go have some mashed potatoes and curry. Oh my gosh. Bye-bye. Okie dokie. Our veggies are on the stove top with about a teaspoon of olive oil and a teaspoon, no, blah, 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 blah. Please save about, I'd say like a quarter to a half a cup's worth of onions for later on. All right, we're gonna put some pork in this and, all right, it's time to make our meatballs. Okay, I have about a half a pound. Okay. So our meatballs are all formed. Yep, and of course you can totally do more pork if you want to. I just had a half a pound on hand. Okay. Sweetheart. Yep. All right, now we have, our meatballs are all done. I only had, okay, you want to get down?